Hey everybody, it's Alex from Jones Strategic Consulting, and today we're going to talk about some basic disaster preparedness. And one of the items that you're going to need that is essential to your survival and your preparedness during a disaster is going to be water. Now, most people don't know this, and maybe some do, but in order for you to survive, you got to have water. And if you don't have water, it will take on an average of 3 days before you die if you don't have water. Now, that all depends on the health of the person and also the environment that the person is in. So, for example, if you are in a hot climate, you are more subject to losing water at a faster rate than someone who may be in a colder climate, okay? So water is essentially important. Now, when it comes to gathering your water sources, when it comes to actually collecting your water, don't get overwhelmed. Don't think you got to have this big, huge bunker with a whole bunch of water in it, okay? The goal of this and the purpose of this video is to get you started, okay? So in order to collect water resources, the first thing I'm going to recommend, which is pretty popular, is getting sources of water from your local grocery store, okay, or a retail outlet. So whether you're collecting bottled water or gallon water, it is essential that you at least try to prepare. Some studies say 1 gallon per person for 30 days. Some people say 3 gallons per person for 30 days. Now, it seems conflicting, but it's really not. The reason why you may hear 3 gallons per person per 30 days is because a lot of it is that the water is being used for other things like hygiene, cooking and washing and things like that. So that's why you may hear the 3. But in order to not get overwhelmed, the best thing you can do is just start with 1 gallon per person per 30 days. Now, I know that seems like a huge mountain to climb, but if you think about it, one of these gallons of spring water just may cost you at around, I'll say 85 cents. So if you spend $25 or $30, you can get a 30-day supply of water for yourself. So over time, building your water supply, you will see that you can have months over of water supply, okay? You can also collect these bottles as well. When I start to talk about the basics of bugging out, you're gonna see me wanting to use these bottles because they're mobile, not mobile, I wouldn't say they're mobile, but they're definitely a little more compact, a little more carryable. You can put them in, some of your bug out bags or, your purse or your backpacks to keep with you in case you actually needed it. Now, when you look at a container like this is a 5.5 sorry about that, a 5 or 5.5 gallon jug that you can use as a source to collect water, okay? What I do recommend is if you do get something like this, you can find this usually at outdoor stores, Walmart, any kind of sporting goods stores. If you buy something like this, make sure that it is easily carryable, okay? What that means is make sure that it has some kind of handle that you can actually pick up and walk with where you don't have to use unnecessary muscles and tendons of carrying it on your head or carrying it on your shoulder, okay? So this will be most beneficial for you to do and get if you are getting water resources, okay? These are used for mainly more long-term storages when it comes to water as well. But you never know, you may have to be in a pinch and you have to go and get some water from a water source, and this may be all you have, okay? So the kind of water we should be drinking during a disaster preparedness or during a disaster situation, by all costs, try to drink some spring water, okay? Spring water has all the nutrients and minerals that you will need for your body. Now, the one thing I will tell you to stay away from is distilled water, okay? Do not buy gallons and gallons of distilled water because distilled water will strip your body of the minerals that it actually needs in a time of distress, in a time of disaster. So if you are collecting water, make sure you're collecting spring water. And at the very least, you can collect drinking water as well. But by all means, try to stock up on some spring water, okay? So water is important. My best advice is to go in to the grocery store, and every time you go in, spend a few bucks, okay? Spend a few bucks getting those water storage up, whether it be $5, whether it be $10, whether it be $20. Spend a little bit of money to get your water storages up, okay? You'd be surprised after 1 month how much water can you actually store. Make sure you're storing it in a clean, cool, dry place as well. Do not try to prepare for disaster without having water. So stay tuned for more tips. I'm going to be doing a playlist of other disaster preparedness items and also other disaster preparedness techniques and tactics. So stay tuned, stay vigilant, stay safe.